Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sports, episode 4, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Wrapping, keeping the momentum up, keeping those views up. I think we might be touching 100 views total, maybe more. Who knows? Subscriptions slowly increasing. I have said when we hit 10, low number, I'll put it on my TV. So I think we might be on 7. So let's you can get another 3 after this one. We're doing well. We're moving in the right direction. Topic of today is going to be the NBA. Is the lovely Golden One Center? Help me out, chaps. The Kings Stadium. Is this the Golden One?
Golden
Is that what it's
One.
called? There we go. I think it says it kind of up there as well. My adopted team for now. But basically, I don't understand the NBA. The point of this podcast is to educate me, to share how the structure of the league works, who are the best teams historically, good players and all that. I always hear conversations about LeBron or MJ. Who are these people? Michael Jackson's fantastic, so I don't know why there was ever a discussion, but we'll get to that as we get through the podcast. Introductions. So myself, Matt Cooper. I'm taking the reins from Gav today, giving him a break from hosting. It's a tiring thing. The man's struggling. His beard's growing. His hair's growing. He needs a break. So I'm stepping into the fold. So introductions. Mr. Gavin Blackshire.
Hello. How is everyone?
All good. And who's your team then? Who do you follow? NBA
I support, unfortunately, the New York Knicks. As I've said in a previous podcast, I chose a city and went for every team. So I chose New York because I was playing 2K, NBA 2K, and I was like, man, I really like this Carmelo Anthony. He's wicked. And so I was like, you know what? I'll choose New York then. So I'll go Knicks, Giants, and Yankees. And so 1 out of 3 teams isn't too bad, I guess. That's how I chose the Knicks, because of Carmelo Anthony. And then we traded him.
And blame him, yeah. And Mr. Irfan Chowdhury, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And your team would be the Cavs, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Cavs. Got a bright future, I think.
LeBron's
got a very bright future. Yeah. Post-LeBron.
Post-LeBron Cavs.
Post-LeBron.
So we all know that the reason Chowdhury follows Cleveland is because of Gavin. So we'll draw a veil under that and move on. So a couple of questions. I'm going to ask stupid questions, and you guys are going to answer the questions for me, basically, to help me understand and help the viewers out there who might not be interested in NBA understand a bit more about it. So explain the NBA league split. So in NFL, you've got the conferences, you've got AFC, NFC, merging of the leagues and so forth, and all the different divisions. How does that work? How is that set out in the NBA? Let's go to Chowdhury. How is it split up the NBA?
You still got divisions. You got Pacific Division, Atlantic Division, and all that lot. So they're split up, but no one really pays attention to that. So you've got East and West. East is not that good. And West, you've got everyone packed. So LeBron, Kawhi, KD. No, KD's not there. He's at Brooklyn now, isn't he?
No.
You got Lillard, Harden, all the best players basically in the West.
Is it because the money's there? Is there more money that side? Or?
No, so basically the West basically have the nicest cities.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to stay in cold New York or cold Cleveland. Yeah, when you've got the sun blazing in LA and all the beaches all year round. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Players, I think, they weigh it up and then they say, "Oh, this team's offering me less money, but the lifestyle is better." So I think that's what goes into it. Also, the college basketball or the school basketball teams are better there, like Sierra Canyon. You've got LeBron's son, Scottie Pippen's son on the same team. You've got LSU there as well, Louisiana State. So it seems a lot better in the West, but the East used to be where it was
back in the day.
Back in MJ's day.
Back in Michael Jackson's day, yeah. So that's how the split East and West, fair enough. So how does that all? So come the end of the season, playoffs. How many teams make playoffs? How does that all decided, Gavin?
So basically, again, very similar to the NFL, but there are 30 teams in the NBA, 15 in each league in the East and West. It's the top 8 teams that go through to the playoffs. In the West, is very tight, and it's always tight because they've got the best teams. In the East, you can normally go at the start of the season, right? These teams are going to make the playoffs easy. The East is pretty. The West is really hard to get into the playoffs. The East, if you've got a good team, you're getting into the playoffs easy.
The West is a traffic jam, basically.
Yeah, it's really tight. I think at the minute there's quite a few spots in the West that can be up.
Separating 8th to 11th. 8th is the playoff seed, so separating them teams, you've got Memphis, who are on 32 games, who are currently 8th place, and as standing would get the playoffs. And then 11th, you've got your boys, the Kings, who are on 28 games, so 4 games separating them. And then you go up to the East, you've got the Orlando Magic, and all the way down at 11, Chicago Bulls, who are on 22, so 8 games separating them. So,
and the Bulls
quite a gap
aren't making playoffs at all with that team. Jesus Christ.
No
way.
Madness. All right. Thank you very much for that. So that's how the leagues are set up and so forth, and how the playoffs and all that work out. How does the draft work then? So is it a similar kind of? It's not the same to the NFL though, is it? Some kind of lottery setup involved. How does that all?
It got changed a couple of years ago.
I understand
Gav was throwing controllers last year. He was literally smashing stuff up.
So basically, what happened? This is all basically because of Philly. So the 76ers were trash for years. And if you look at the 76ers now, they're a really good team. They've got Joel Embiid, who's one of the best centers in the league, and Ben Simmons, who plays point guard, but I think he's 6'7", child, is he? 6'7", 6'8"?
6'9".
6'9", yeah. 7 foot. Which is, that's not a point guard, but he's really good at passing. And if he gets into the paint, there's no stopping him. And he's really young. I think he's 21, 22. But the reason the draft changed is because 76 kept tanking, meaning they get the number 1 spot, which now shows that they've got a really good team.
Tank for a few years, get the best players, and then take the world by storm.
Then they're sorted. So the Knicks were doing that. And then the NBA decided, you know what, we're going to stop people from tanking. So if you have the worst position, if you have the top 4 worst position, that's worded correctly. Yeah. You have a better chance of getting the number 1 pick. But even if you have the worst record, it doesn't guarantee you getting the number 1 pick.
You still got an 86% chance.
Really odd now, because the Lakers.
But can any team?
Yeah, any team can get it.
Any team can get it. So you can be like a Golden State, or not Golden State now, but anyone like Lakers smashing everybody up. They could get the number 1 pick next year.
Well, Lakers was it last year, child? They got to 7th or 5th. They moved.
No, they made the playoffs. They finished just outside the playoffs, and they were.
No, but it got moved up massively, didn't it?
Yeah, up to 3rd or 4th.
And the Pelicans last year, they weren't a bad team, but they got the number 1 pick over the Knicks.
We're a very bad team.
We're like, everyone in New York was like, we've got to get Zion Williamson, we've got to get him. And we ended up getting the 3rd pick. Well, it's not too bad. We got RJ. I'm happy we got top 3 because they were the 3 best players in the draft. Memphis got 2, and they got Yar Morant, who's a wicked player. But
I've seen that name.
I wanted Zion.
For a small guy, he can dunk, can't he?
Crazy.
I wouldn't expect him to have that much hops.
Big ceiling for him. But yeah, the draft basically works on a lottery basis now. You have less chance. If you are the best team, you have less chance of getting the number 1 pick, but there is still a possibility.
You can still get it. How
Yeah.
very bizarre. Very
Yeah.
bizarre. Okay. Cheers for that. You've mentioned things like point guard and center. Now these are, I understand, I'm not completed yet. These are positions, right? So what are the other positions on the team? Child. What are the so how does it work? Start from the back. Is that how it works? I don't know. Start from nearest your net.
That's what she said.
Hey.
So, from you got a centre who's traditionally the tallest player, who is like the goalkeeper to put in for dummies, like you, Matt.
Take it.
So basically keeping the ball out the net, stop players driving in, rebounding the ball, basically doing all the dirty work. You've got the power forward, who nowadays are a hybrid, whereas you look back 10 years ago, Tim Duncan, he would not shoot threes unless he had to, unless Pop told him, I need you to shoot a three. He would not drive out to the 3-point line and hit a three like Kevin Love would or Joel Embiid would nowadays.
We'd stay near the basket.
Yeah,
still.
They would still typically do some of the dirty work if you're Dennis Rodman back in the day, in every sense of the word, for Rodman.
Hey.
And then you got small forward who do a little bit of everything these days. If you look at Kevin Durant, so bringing up, and LeBron James bringing up the ball from backcourt, making plays, things like that. They are what we like to call point forwards.
Yeah.
Point forwards nowadays, because they typically get everyone to set the screen, call out plays and everything. And LeBron is probably the best in the business at that. So small forwards.
Small and power. I mean, I look at a basketball player; they're all powerful, and none of them are really small. So I don't get is it just historic? They've always been those names.
I think it's basically historically, because the two tallest players were normally the 4 and 5, as in the power forward and the center. So like if you look in the old days, Shaq was a center. Hakeem Olajuwon was a center. You know, they wouldn't be playing anywhere. They wouldn't be playing the 1 to 3. They're always a 4 to 5. But you know, the game's changed nowadays, and you know, if Shaq was in the game now, he would have to learn to hit threes, because the game's changed so much. You know, because so many players can hit threes now. There's no you know, your man in the middle is a rebounder now, because everyone's playing on the arc. If you look at I think the NBA tweeted out a picture of how much the game's changed, of showing where shots were from in the 90s to now. You know, in the 90s it was in that arc, and now it's outside. Like,
it's all outside.
It's emphasised, isn't it? And some people can't get a job. Like Roy Hibbert, one of the best centres of recent times. Like you see him in 2012 against the Heat, he was dominating. And then after that, he couldn't get a job because he was saying coaches wanted him to emphasise the three and taking 3-point shots. And he said that he's too old to do that now. There's no point in him doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're the forwards and the centre. Gav, what are the guards? Now, I said guard to me sounds like the people who should be defending the basket, but it sounds like the centre and the power forward do that. So what do the guards do? And why are they called guards?
You got the two guards at the top. So you got a point and shooting guard, the 1 and 2, and they are to stop people progressing towards. So they're guarding that arc.
There we go.
They're normally the players that are outside the arc. Their interior defense. You know, you couldn't have Steph Curry on Shaq, because that is what we call a mismatch.
Yes,
Shaq will win, you know, 10 out of 10 times in that position. Which is why when we get into it, they do stuff called pick and rolls. But we'll emphasize that later. So the point guard is normally the player that brings the ball up, normally the smallest player on the team. You look at Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Frank Ntilikina, great point guards at the time. Just waiting for Charlie.
De'Aaron Foxes? Would De'Aaron Fox be that position? Is that where he is?
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think he's the
fastest
player
Kings Army.
in a minute.
He's the fastest player in the league, I think.
Rapid. He's a really good point guard. I like him. And And then shooting guards are normally your players that you'd sling the ball to hit the three-pointer. So they're normally a player who's emphasized as a bit taller than the shooting guard. If you look at Klay Thompson, he is the best shooting guard you're going to have, I think, in the NBA at the moment. I don't think there's anyone close to him at the minute.
You got Clay, and then off of that you've got CJ, haven't you? CJ McCollum, but I wouldn't put him in the same bracket as Clay.
No, CJ's great shooting guard, but Klay Thompson is amazing. His 3-point shooting is ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, they're normally the smaller guys. But like Chowdhury said, the game is changing so much. Even the Houston Rockets now don't have a center. They don't have a tall player. They're playing all small ball and hitting threes constantly.
They've suffered from it though.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to work. It's a big change. I don't think anyone's ever done that before.
You lose an element of the physicality. I think that would teams would find that easy to exploit, I'd imagine. But
they've been winning games with it. They traded away their center Clint Capella, who was really good, and they've stuck PJ Tucker at the 5. What is he, Chad? He's 6'8", 6'9". He's not tall.
No, 6'5". He's 6'5" or 6'7".
He's not a tall player, but he can shoot threes.
Not very tall.
And having that mismatch, if you got PJ Tucker against Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks, Mitch is 7'1", I think. Bringing him out to the arc, it's a killer. He can't block threes, but you start handling around him. It's a different game. The NBA is changing, and it's really interesting to see what happens. But yeah, that's basically what the guards are. They're normally the people that bring the ball up, hit the threes.
Cool. Thank you very much.
I think Daryl Morey is about to lose his job, but he is not. He's just basically pick and mixing. They lost to the Knicks, they lost to the Cavs, and they're two of the worst teams in the league at the moment.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, pattern with your boys' choice of team. Okay, thank you. I understand the positions now. I understand why guards are what they are and the centre. Yeah, okay, we're good. So, onto the good questions, the difficult questions. Current best team in the NBA overall. So, not talking East-West. Best team. And why? Start with Mr. Blackshaw on this one.
See, it's quite hard at the minute. There's quite a lot of teams that are really good. Like I said, the Rockets have changed the way they're playing, and they're a really good team. They've got Russell Westbrook, James Harden. They've got a really good team. Eric Gordon shooting threes off them as well. Lakers are really good. LeBron is killing it and shouldn't be at his age. He's absolutely ridiculous for what he's doing. And now they've got Anthony Davis as well. They've got a strong court around them. McGee and Dwight Howard getting rebounds for him. So LeBron's rebounds have gone down because he don't need to do it now. He's probably got an easier... this is probably the best team he's had for a while, isn't it, Child? LeBron.
Probably since the Heat days.
Yeah.
Or probably since the 2017 Cavs.
Yeah. So, because LeBron used to have to do everything. Rebound, pass, scoring, and now he can chill out of it.
Man army and just score.
Yeah. But then you got in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're really good. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's got a really good team around him.
Says, don't like his teammates, though. Tweeted the other day.
Yeah. He's a dominant player. I think other than that, I don't really see Golden State have gone completely down the pan since Steph got injured, Clay got injured, KD went to Brooklyn. Iggy has gone to, he went to Memphis and then got chucked out of there. Where is he now?
Chucked himself. He's gone to the Heat. That's why I think the Heat are a dark horse to get to the Eastern Conference Final.
Miami Heat, I'd say now they got Jimmy Butler, our up-and-coming team. But I would say that you're looking at Rockets, Lakers, Bucks. That's pretty much it. I'd say they're the teams that are looking to win this year.
Stick your neck out and choose one.
I'm going to say the Lakers are the best team this year.
Good man. I like to force an answer. Good man. Chowdhury, what are you saying? best current team.
Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers.
Lakers.
LeBron.
Yeah, simply because I think LeBron's under a bit of pressure and he loves pressure. Like, you go back to 2016 3-1, he had the Undertaker shirt on in his press conference. He had the sunglasses on. There's a picture of it. It was wicked. And then Clay all of a sudden says something to him. He was like, "It's a man's game," or something like that. He started laughing. They end up winning the whole series after that. And then he makes that amazing block on Iguodala.
Ooh.
And I think after 2017, there was no real pressure on him, because the 2018 finals or the 2018 playoff run, no one expected the Cavs to do what they had done. They had no business in the final.
They had no one other than LeBron. No one.
Yeah, no one. Kevin Love was doing bits here and there against the Pacers. J.R. Smith doing bits here and there, throwing soup at coaches. And you look at the 2018 season for the Cavs as well. You bring in Isaiah Thomas at the beginning of the season, Wade, Derrick Rose. You think, oh, this is going to be amazing. You're going to win the title. And then in January, they flick all of them out, bring Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Clarkson and all that lot in. You're like, oh, God, LeBron's got to deal with this again. He's got to acclimate them to new scenery and everything. That they're not going to do anything. And then end up getting to the finals. And that's all because of LeBron. And then he has that amazing game 1 and J.R. Smith makes that blunder. You wonder what would have happened if.
Is that the
George
one with
Hill.
that meme when LeBron's kind of like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could not believe it when that happened. That was crazy. Couldn't believe it.
I still wonder what would have happened if George Hill had just hit those 2 free throws, or J.R. Smith had just put it back up, because he out rebounded at 7 footer.
Yeah, and took it out.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And LeBron's just pointing, and we had one timeout as well. So I wonder what would have happened in 2018. But I would still have J.R. Smith back on the Cavs. I love J.R.
Yeah.
So you're both saying the Lake. I think from what I hear, and obviously LeBron being one of the greatest of all time, along with was it AD, Anthony Davis?
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I think they sound like
Defensive player of the year for me.
Aren't they? They are like a rival of the Kings, are they not? Do I always pick a team that's rivals? I know
Golden State.
Golden State. That's it. I always pick a team that's against a good team.
Not exactly a rival. You're getting beaten up every time.
This is good. Okay, so that's kind of the best team. So, and I think we've probably covered a lot of who's the best player in there as well, because there's a lot of LeBron love. I'm feeling a lot of LeBron love. I know Gav likes the beard, James Harden, and I know Chowdhury doesn't. So, I think we can dance around that a little bit. So, aside from LeBron, then, best player in the league. Chowd, start with you.
Best player in the league, other than LeBron.
Yeah.
If KD was in there, I miss watching KD. I'd pick him, but he's not playing at the moment. So best player, I'm not going to choose Kawhi because he takes too much time off, and I think he's a little bit overrated, if you ask me. A little bit. He's good, but nah. This guy gets no love at all. I'm gonna go with well, these two don't get no love. Jason Tatum and Pascal Siakam, they get no love at all.
So for the idiots in the room, where are they? Who do they play for?
Jason Tatum plays for the Celtics. Siakam plays for the Raptors, and the Raptors are in second or first?
I think first.
I think.
Hold on, are you choosing one of those two as the best players in the league other than LeBron?
Other than LeBron, they get no love. They get no love. Toronto are second. Boston are third. Because they are carrying their teams, if you think about it. You pull one of them out, nah. And the Clippers, you've got
You're not picking
Giannis. No, he said he don't like his teammates. Don't like what he tweeted the other day.
It's got to be the mental side as well, not just on the. Yeah, I see that. It can't just be what you do on the. It can't just be what you do on the courts.
I think mentally, Giannis got fried last year, and Giannis's game is just. He's dynamic, and he's learned to shoot the three, but I think Siakam and Tatum are a little bit more dynamic, because if you look at last year, Toronto literally just put 3 players along the line and said to Giannis, "You're not driving in," so he had to pass it out, and that's all they did after Game 4, I think, and then Toronto came back and won. If you go back and watch that, so like Giannis has got the 3-point, he's got a mid-range now, but Tatum and
Okay.
Siakam.
Tatum, right? Name adding to my Wikipedia search later. Thank you, Gav. Ignoring that insanity for a second, best player apart from LeBron.
I would have said Giannis, but like Chowdhury said, people are starting to learn how to play against him. He is unstoppable. If you've got a 7'3" guy running at you, at full speed, he's so athletic, it's ridiculous. It's hard.
I do like him. I'm not hating. I do like him.
Yeah,
he's one of my favourites.
But I think the Bucks rely too much on him, and he's not LeBron. I don't think he can. He can't do what LeBron does.
He can't carry a team and lift them on their own.
Because his ball handling's not as good, his passing's not as good. But if he's running at you, you're done for. That you can't. He's getting a foul or he's dunking on you.
Like a steamroller.
Yeah, he literally will run you over. But skill-wise, I have to say the best player other than LeBron is James Harden. I think he is an unstoppable force of nature in the NBA. He will. If he's not getting to the rim and scoring, he's passing it out. He'll hit a 3 in your face. He's ridiculous. He's scoring so many points. He's got, they traded and got Russell Westbrook this year, which I didn't think would work because Westbrook is a, dominant ball handler. He's a great passer, great rebounder, and can get to the rim. Not a great 3-point shooter. But it's worked, and the Rockets are doing really well. But James Harden, his dribbling skills, Matt, just have a look. Just YouTube it and watch his majestic skills. When he downed that Clippers coat the other year, like licked it, give him a little kiss, and then hit a 3. Crazy. Ridiculous.
Saying that, who would you take? Kyrie, Harden, or Iverson when it comes to ball handling?
I'd probably say Kyrie's probably better than he. Iverson's amazing, but Kyrie he does stupid stuff. But yeah, James Harden is a force to be reckoned with.
It's a name I know. It's a face I know. There's also a good meme of him kind of doing that whole kind of eye roll and slide, which is cool. I quite like that. So he goes up in my list for that.
He can hit threes, he can hit mid range, and he'll go in and. If he's not scoring, again, he's like Giannis, he'll get a foul. I feel, a couple of years ago, they changed the rules, didn't they, Child, basically because of him. Because he was driving to the basket and getting a foul every time. So they changed the shooting foul. So if you got fouled, you used to be able to carry on and try and take a shot. And if it went in, you get 2 and then get an and 1. But now, if you get fouled before the shot, it's just a foul. So it's good because he was literally driving in, foul, take a shot, and was just killing it. So they had to change it.
Was racking up. Okay.
Yeah, great play.
So Tatum and Harden, good stuff, chaps. Okay, so that's the best current player. So moving on from that, so best player of all time. So you both get one call on this, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes each to say why. Now let me just get my stopwatch up. So we're going to start with you, Gav, so you can have a bit of prep time.
2 minutes ain't enough.
So I'm going to start. I'm going to get 2 minutes. You've got to condense it. So if you need a bit of time, just think. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So in 3, 2, 1. Gavin Blackshaw, who is your favourite all-time all-star player?
I grew up with MJ. I grew up watching MJ, but I believe that LeBron is the greatest player of all time. Because he can do everything. Yes, Jordan is 6-0, but if you look at who he played against and who LeBron's playing against, I think it's completely different. There was no player that Jordan played against that was as good as Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard or James Harden. There were great players then, but no one was as good as Jordan. If you look at now, are there players who are as good as LeBron at 35 years old? Yes. there are, but he can score, he can rebound. He's probably a better passer than Magic Johnson. He's so creative, and people get the because Jordan's this, Jordan's that. But before Scottie Pippen, Jordan weren't anything. He was a good player on a crap team, and then Scottie Pippen come along. Then he managed to get some rings. LeBron, managed to get the Cavs to the final with Matthew Dellavedova.
Good name.
Well,
That's a good name
won
right
2
there.
games with him as well in the
No,
final.
How he managed to get that Cavs team to the final. And that Cavs team years ago, when he was first at the Cavs, he got to the finals with, what's that horrendous dude? I hate him. Went to the Golden State Warriors. Big hair dude.
Varejao.
Terrible. How they managed.
Varejao, Big Z.
15 seconds.
So I am going to say and finish that LeBron is the greatest player of all time. If you had a type of player that you could mold and start again, you'd want LeBron over MJ. Sorry to the internet.
Good shout. I thought you were going to go a different way to that, so I'm quite impressed. That's a good summary. Chow, you're going to give you another 2 minutes.
Rattled a few cages now. You have.
In 3, 2, 1, go, Chow.
I think Michael Jordan's legacy is a bit overreacted. Like they look at it as over exaggerated is the word I was looking for. They look at it like, oh, MJ's like a god, he's this, he's that, and is it all overblown? Like this generation is probably going to say the same thing about LeBron in 10, 15 years, and in 10, 15 years, LeBron will have his own 10-part documentary. That 10-part documentary, actually, MJ gave authorization during the 2016 Cavs parade. So you tell me he wasn't threatened by that 3-1 comeback against the best team ever. He knew he was in trouble, his legacy. But I've always said LeBron's been the best player ever. And I had to convert Gav to that as well.
Successfully, I might add. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, Gav was hell bent. No, MJ's the best. MJ's the best before any of you lot started giving hate on Gav. It was me that converted Gav to
it was
to a witness.
Because I grew up with LeBron, with Michael, sorry. That's why. And then I think that changed my mind. Like seeing that is the greatest sporting event I think I've ever seen. Is a team coming back. Could have done that with that team? I don't think so.
And Skip Bayless has gone on record and said LeBron is a better all-round player than Michael Jordan. The clip is out there. If you want me to send it to you, I will happily send it to you. I sent it to Gav and Matt the other day.
Let's get it out. Let's retweet it. Let's do that.
Yeah. I do think MJ's legacy is a bit over-exaggerated. I think they pipe him up to be something that more to what he is. He 6 MVPs and 6 championships is good, but LeBron's the GOAT.
Good stuff. Excellent. So that's 4 minutes of LeBron love for anyone who missed that. Fantastic. So to be fair, I completely agree from what I've seen, what I know. I think nostalgia plays a massive part in when you're lining these people up. Think about soccer. So would people say, people still go on about Pele being the greatest of all time, Maradona? I think Ronaldo and Messi would crap all over the pair of them.
Yeah.
They are far fitter,
100%.
far better all over. And it's the same in all sports, I think. The Hall of Fames and things like that are a little bit, at a point in time. And I think it's the same against LeBron versus Jordan. Interesting comment about him sorting that 10-part documentary out during the Cavs parade. Didn't know that. That does speak of a very threatened individual. I completely agree with that. And I think probably in 10 years' time, you're going to see maybe the iconic Jumpman logo replaced by LBJ doing something. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? Or maybe Kobe. No one said Kobe. No Kobe love there. But that's no disrespect to Kobe. I don't think.
No,
but
Kobe was amazing. But I think he's literally a Jordan clone. Any child, he was a newer Jordan clone.
Yeah, literally, he needed someone to help him. If you look at LeBron, he's not needed. LeBron does need help to get him to win championships. I'm not going to lie about that. He needed D Wade and Chris Bosh, obviously, but you've seen LeBron get to the finals on his own, and he just needed that one extra player to help him out against the other 4 Hall of Famers.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people go against. They'll go, oh yeah, but Michael Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. He had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. LeBron hasn't had a player who is as good as Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman on any of his teams ever.
Until now?
Give
AD is great. That's the only other player. He ain't got Dennis Rodman there.
Give LeBron Phil Jackson, see what happens. Give him a Hall of Fame coach, see what happens. A rookie head coach won a title with LeBron. That says it all.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
Who didn't coach a full season. Tyronn Lue took over in January 2016.
And is Tyronn Lue a good coach?
He's all right.
Probably not. Moving swiftly on then, chaps. So, I know I when I wrote these questions, I thought it made quite a lot of sense because I did a bit of Wikipediaing and Googling and stuff a while back. Now I feel a bit daft. I'm going to ask this question anyway. So, Steph Curry never came up in that discussion. And I've looked up the man. And from all intents and purposes, when you talk about people changing the game, he changed the game. He came in, took against all these big, powerful people powering in, dunking, all that kind of stuff, and he just stands from miles away and sinks threes for fun all day, every day. And came into, I believe, now you guys might correct me if I'm wrong here because I'm relying on my hastily Googled stuff over the past couple of weeks. But he came into a team that wasn't very good, and basically they just built it around him just being a cannon from anywhere on the court. And that was, I believe, that was the start of Golden State's ascendancy. You might correct me if I'm wrong here, but opinions on Golden State, go, starting with Chowdhury and more on Curry. But yeah, thoughts on Curry?
Steph. Fun fact: he actually wanted to go to New York Knicks, which I sent you a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? Because he thought he was going to New York. Steph, between 2015 and 2018, I hated the Golden State Warriors. Hated everything about them. But being objective, I do and can't really hate on Steph Curry. He did change the game. Half the shots that you see now, the NBA players are doing. You see the kids. Me and Gav used to work at school. The kids were doing it. We had a little boy always at the halfway line taking half-court shots. Myself and Gav always did it. He did change the game for smaller players. Like you see the quick dribbles, quick handles, layups, and everything like that. It just opened the door for a lot of other players to come in. I know you had Muggsy Bogues and the players before that, but Steph actually won an MVP and everything like that. So he did break down a lot of barriers for smaller players in terms of what they can do. And I hope he does pass that on to other players because he should do.
Has he come back from injury now? He's no longer. He was injured for a while, wasn't
he? He's back from injury. I think Golden State will be back at full strength next season. I think this year they're just hibernating with Clay and everything. Bring them back properly, and then you'll see them back tomorrow and next year, and I'll be hating them again next year. But I do think Steph has changed the game for the better. Cool. I like a bit of defense though.
Yeah, Steph can hit. He can really change a game in a matter of 5 minutes. They can be 20 down, and then he'll come on. And just because everyone's so scared of him outside the arc, it drags people out, leaving the paint open. Because there's no stopping him. If you look at the shot that knocked, because Golden State were down 3-1 against OKC when Kevin Durant was there. And in Game 7, I think there was like 2 seconds left. And he shot from near the halfway line and it knocked them out. Like the audacity, like to know that I can just get someone in the paint and score the audacity to shoot from that distance. And to have the confidence to get it in and win and get them through to the title is ridiculous. He's probably the best shooter of all time. He's already near, I think, is he third, Chowd, in 3-pointers made?
First now. I think he overtook Ray Allen.
There you go. and he's
No.
31.
I say he's still got a few years left.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like Ray Allen retired when he was mid-30s odd, and he was top. He's so accurate as well. I think he's over 45%, 40% shooting from 3-point range, which is really good.
That's very good numbers.
He's so dangerous. So you can't leave him open. You can't.
Mm.
And he moves constantly. Like he does. He's not a stand-up shooter who just stands there and waits for the ball. He's moving off
Same.
all the time.
It's the same with Clay, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
their offense.
and that's what having him, Clay. That 2015, 2016 team where you had Steph, Clay, Harrison Barnes, and Iggy. That's 4 players who can consistently hit threes. It just blew everyone out. You couldn't stop them. If you double team Clay, you're going to leave a player open who can hit a free. It was just unstoppable. And he did change the game. And there's people run up the court now and they'll just hit a free and it'll go in. The Charlotte Hornets player, what's his name? Is it Devontae Graham? Man, he just drills him. Damian Lillard, games
Jeremy
on the line
Lamb.
against OKC, sidestep from near the logo, drains it. It's hard now to stop players from shooting from wherever because they're just getting used to it. And that's
what you're saying. Yeah, that's what you said earlier about that graphic NBA put out about everyone scoring within the paints like 10, 15 years ago, and now it's outside. It's players like Curry that have changed the game that way. To do that.
I mean, if Jordan's playing against Curry, who's going to get more points? Jordan didn't really hit threes. Get him in the paint and he's unstoppable. But
Jordan would shut him down, though, I think.
Oh yeah, he's a great defender.
Size-wise.
But I mean, is that Warriors team was it 73-9? Are they going to beat the Bulls, who are interior? Probably. They're just going to smash it down threes.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
From what
72 and 10 has a better ring to it, like Gav. Just saying.
Anyway, that does kind of back up. Looking into when I was looking into best players ever, that name pops up only because he's a slightly different kind of player to the your LeBrons and your MJs. But yeah, he'll never kind of be at that level. But indeed, okay. Next one, quite a short one. Hopefully, I'll put this to Gav first of all. Now I remember in the 90s, I had a few friends into NBA. It's probably Jordan and so forth, and we had this horrible game on the PlayStation. It might have been, I can't remember what it was called now, but I just remember choosing. I want the team with the guy with the funny hair, which would be, of course, Mr. Dennis Rodman. So was the man, apart from being, he's referenced in the Men in Black movies as being weird looking. I thought he was weird looking playing the game anyway. Was he actually a good player, Dennis Rodman? What position was he, and was he a good player?
He was power forward, and he did what he was told to do, which was to go out and get rebounds and stop people. He wasn't asked to go and score points. There's a really famous picture where it says when you're told to do one job and you get on with it, where he's got 0 points and 20 rebounds, because that was his because he was there to get the rebounds, sling it out to Jordan or Pippen, and stop players. He was tough. He didn't get shit. He would, especially I think the last times has really opened up people's eyes to, he went out partying for 9 days and came back and, dominated in a game. I guess a lot of people in the NBA go for points. This player's great. They scored 40 points, and they don't get a lot of love for the people who, are getting the steals and the blocks and the rebounds and doing the messy part. But yeah, Rodman was ridiculous. I don't think there's been a defensive player, a defensive big, should I say, like him. Kawhi's really good at defending, but he's nowhere near as good as Rodman was. But then it was a lot tougher in the NBA back then. He could muller people without getting a foul.
Not so many soft fouls as there are today in all sports. I think that's the case, probably.
And all that stuff. It was, militant. But yeah, he was a tough guy. And I think anyone would want him on their team if you asked them.
Cool. So that's Rodman. I'm going to change around a little bit. So, Chowd, I'm going to ask you about Scottie Pippen. So that's the name you guys mentioned a few times here. So, what did he bring to that great Jordan? That great Bulls team would have been what? Jordan, Rodman, Pippen. I don't know who the other two were, to be fair, the two starters. But so what did Pippen bring to the party in that? Was he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Took the pressure off of MJ, because before Pip, you had MJ was doing everything, and then Pippen came along, and then Horace Grant, I believe, came along in the same round as Pip, and then those two just took the pressure off him. And then you saw those two take the pressure off of MJ, and then all of a sudden now you have Phil Jackson in the triangle offense where the ball moves around and everyone gets a touch. Pip could rebound, score, and do everything else, assist. And now you can't just pay attention to Michael. You got to pay attention to everyone else because the ball keeps moving. So Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen, they helped MJ out massively. And it's annoying that The Last Dance is blowing MJ's legacy up even more and shitting on LeBron, because before The Last Dance, not many people are crapping on LeBron the way they are now because of The Last Dance. And that's the one thing I hate about this documentary coming out. It is an amazing documentary, but it is shitting on LeBron's legacy where it's unwarranted. There's no need for it. I mean, if you love Michael Jordan, you love Michael Jordan. You don't need to shit on someone else to put your point forward. But without Scottie Pippen, you haven't got Michael Jordan. MJ wouldn't have won 6 titles, 6 MVPs. And Scottie did win 54 games without MJ. He got him to I think it was the Eastern Conference, and they got knocked out by the Magic, and then the Magic lost to Hakeem in '95. And then so Scottie was a solid player. He could hold his own, as you saw it for that 1 year when MJ was out playing baseball.
Well, to put it into perspective, when I was a kid and Michael Jordan was the big thing, Scottie Pippen was my favourite player over Michael Jordan. I love Scottie Pippen. He's amazing. And I have to disagree, Child. I think The Last Dance is doing more harm to Michael Jordan, because my mate who doesn't watch basketball has been watching The Last Dance, and he was like, it shows how good Michael Jordan was, but also shows that he really needed Scottie Pippen, and he doesn't.
Yeah, but this week is going to hurt his legacy even more, because it's going to show how crap of a teammate he was.
With Steve Kerr, the punch.
And no, Horace Grant. Apparently, Horace Grant played terrible, and he took away Horace's food on the plane. He's like, "You're not eating because you played a shit game."
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of. You're starting to see it now, aren't you, in that documentary?
I'll have to start watching that myself, actually, when it's all done. Cool.
Really good.
So yeah, a bit of a side. So we're looking at the supporting cast of Jordan there, and both very good players, fantastic. So we're going to wrap it up with just one final question for you both. All-time starting 5. So you got your centre, your 2 forwards, 2 guards. I'm going to note them down here and see how similar we go. We're going to start to my left, or to my. I don't know how it is on your screen, actually. To be fair, let's say Gavin. Let's start with you.
Do we have to have them? So I have to have a point guard. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I think you have to have the 5 positions as you gentlemen kindly laid out to me earlier. So a centre, a power forward, small forward, was it one? Sorry? Point guard, and the other guard, shooting guard.
Wow. Point guard, so, then.
Let's take it by position. So start point guard. We'll go that way. So point guard, Gavin.
Point guard, I'm going to say it's between, I think you got to go Magic Johnson from the Lakers.
Magic Johnson, yeah.
Okay. Because he's a Ben Simmons size kind of guy. He can run at your crazy passing, and can score. So Magic Johnson for me.
Cool. And Irfan, your point guard.
Magic. I was gonna make it. I was gonna spice it up and go with Stockton. Just be a bit controversial, but
same.
Magic.
Okay, so nice and equal on the point guard. So the other guard, shooting guard, is it SG? So Gav, start with you again.
Got to be MJ for shooting guard.
MJ.
Yeah, MJ.
Oh, so we have lots of consistency here so far. 2 players, MJ and Magic Johnson. Cool. Yes, centre. Yes, centre then, gentlemen. Start with Chowdhury this time.
Shaq.
Yes, centre.
I'm going to go with Big Shaq.
And
Big
as if
Diesel.
we need to say why, but why? Because the man is a living legend. But why in particular are you picking Shaq over everybody else?
Shaq, he will just bully you. He won't care. He'll just literally get the ball, dunk on you, chuck it up there. He's getting it, rebounding it. He'll just do everything. He's the most dominant player ever. He won't, just most dominant ever. Just look at what he does.
Yeah.
You don't care.
And then once he's finished a golf and film some horrible action film, no doubt.
Yeah, because
that's it. That's it. Gavin, your centre.
Mine is Hakeem Olajuwon. Amazing player. One of the best post players ever. He came up with a dream shake. I think Shaq is amazing, but Hakeem could do more. Love him.
Cool. What team did he play for, sorry?
He played for Houston Rockets.
Rockets. So adding it so I can look things up. Cool. We're into forwards now then. So, Chowdhury, your power forward. PF.
Mine, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Best power forward of all time. He's bland. He's like white rice, but he will get the job done for you. And you saw it in his last 2 years. He won the title by doing that.
Who did he play for, sorry? Tim Duncan?
San Antonio.
Spurs. That's Skip's team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't talk about him because they're not winning.
Fair enough. He talks about LeBron though, doesn't he? So that's probably fine.
Yeah. Well, LeBron
Gav?
makes him money.
Mine is, again, from when I was a kid, he was one of my favourite players, is Kevin Garnett. Played for the Timberwolves and Celtics. Great player. Loved him. Was Tim Duncan better? Probably. But I love Kevin Garnett. He's a great player.
Excellent. Okay, and your small forwards now. This should be fairly simple, I imagine. Let's start with Chowdhury. Go on.
LeBron, easy.
LBJ.
Goat James, you can't have him.
Yeah, LeBron. LeBron all day. There's no other small forward better than him at all. People must be KD. KD ain't better than LeBron.
Makes sense. Yeah, so we've been there's been a lot of LeBron love, so that doesn't really surprise me there. Pretty balanced teams actually. Yeah, for 2 guys who go at it quite a bit over Twitter and so forth, you're actually pretty aligned in your views. You know that. This is probably.
I've given up on the GOAT debate. It's like, I was talking to someone about it on Twitter the other day. I said I've given up that. It's like knocking your head against the wall. Like some people are going to have Kobe as the GOAT. Some people are going to have Magic as the GOAT. It doesn't bother me.
And all you get from banging your head against a brick wall is a headache.
I've converted Gav into a LBJ man. Anyway, so my job's done.
That's good work. Right, some good stuff, good discussion. I feel educated. I feel I'm not quite so much of a dummy. I've got some good names for me to go and Google and understand a bit more. And I will be watching some more games, I think. So Kings are my adopted team, as I say. I only watched a few games, in fairness. Darren Fox, love him, fast, great player. Marvin Bagley, I believe, is one of our.
He'll be good. He'll be good.
Well, he was injured most of last year, though, wasn't he? I seem to always be bloody injured. That's what I always saw. But yeah, I've got a lot more to watch and a lot more to understand. But thank you, gentlemen, for your education, your
no worries, anytime.
Viewpoints. Very, very good fun all round. So I think we'll draw this episode to a nice close. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, comments. If you disagree, if you're that upset with the lack of Kobe love or the lack of MJ love or whatever, comment or send tweets or anything. Just get the discussion going. Nice, stable gentleman here to have this discussion with, so we can crack on with that. Let's have a say our goodbyes. So thank you very much to Mr. Irfan Chowdhury. Say goodbye.
See you later.
And thank you very much to Mr. Gavin Blackshire.
Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe.
Man, subliminal. And thank you very much. I've been Matt Cooper. I've been your temporary host. So I'm sure we're going back to normal service resumes, and you'll be happy to know that next time around. It's been a pleasure. Still haven't come up with an ending for this yet. We'll have to do it for the next one. I keep saying that, we will do. Thank you very much. Peace out. Take care.